This film is inspired by a true story, where a high school student is representing a class project called Family Friend. This project is based on childcare and tutoring services for children whose parents are busy working. The student's name is Ashley. Initially, Ashley and her good friends, Janet, Zilly, and Rachel, started Family Friend only as a class project. However, when the project became successful and received high grades, Ashley and her 3 friends turned it into a business and started expanding it to other places. Without the knowledge of their classmates, this project became more than just an ordinary child care service. Before moving on to the next part, let's get to know these 4 beautiful girls first. Ashley is a beautiful and intelligent student who always ranks at the top of her class. Janet is an idol and a teenage athlete. Zilly is a videographer who is interested in the arts, especially in making videos for children. Rachel is a versatile student and also a tutor. During lunch break, Ashley expressed her concerns about her desire to get into the University of California and feeling afraid of not being accepted. However, her friends reassured her that she would get into any university because of her excellent grades in all subjects. In the evening, Ashley was seen having dinner with her parents, Bonnie and Joe. There, her mother revealed that Ashley had to close her store due to unfavorable circumstances. Joe said they had to use the money that was supposed to be for Ashley's college to cover the store's losses. This made Ashley have to attend community college. Ashley felt disappointed because she was a top student in her class and wanted to go to a prestigious university, not a community college, as her parents wished. With a broken heart, Ashley continued her job as a caregiver and tutor for children. Her clients were Linda and Mark. The couple gave Ashley a gift as an expression of appreciation for being a good tutor for their children. Ashley told her clients about her struggle to complete her essay for university, which suddenly crumbled due to her family's financial problems. Linda suggested that Ashley seek help from her husband, Mark, who is a lawyer. Linda hoped that Mark could convince Ashley's parents about the importance of education. Elsewhere, Rachel and Janet were busy trying on their new clothes. Janet wondered why Rachel's clothes seemed quite expensive for high school students like them. Rachel then revealed the secret that she had been playing with her clients and earning a lot of money. Rachel suggested that Janet do the same with the client, who would be introduced later. According to Rachel, by doing that, the Family Friend business would boom and earn a lot of money. Rachel also said that those older men would be willing to empty their wallets to talk to young girls. They called this profession courtesan. A few hours later, Mark and Linda found Ashley crying in the living room. The teenage girl was immersed in sadness because her dream of getting into UC Berkeley or UCLA seemed to be in vain. Mark gently tried to convince Ashley that there is always a way to her dream university. Seeing the deep sadness in Ashley, Linda asked Mark to drive her home. Upon arriving in front of the house, Mark reassured Ashley that he would help make her dream of getting into that university come true. Mark said that he considered this help an investment for the future. Hearing that promise, Ashley felt extremely happy and gave Mark a warm hug, making the teenage girl feel better and leave with a smile on her face. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Janet went to meet the client recommended by Rachel. Without much ado, after the door was opened, Janet immediately started the planned interaction. A few days later, Ashley and Linda's family held a family event by the poolside. Amidst the joy of the event, Ashley expressed her admiration for her client's family, who seemed harmonious with adorable children. However, Ashley's eyes often glanced at Mark, who occasionally gave her gentle smiles. The next day, Ashley's friends congratulated her for remaining at the top of the class. Ashley then informed them that she planned to enroll at Pressman University, which is more expensive than Berkeley or UCLA. Zilly suggested that they spend the weekend together to celebrate Ashley's achievement. However, Ashley refused because she and Mark, who is also a client and an alumnus of Pressman University, would be visiting the campus for a tour. Mark invited Ashley for a campus tour. During lunch, Ashley expressed her desire to watch a band performance that happened to be playing at a bar in the city later that night. Their flight schedule was supposed to return to California that night, but Mark decided to postpone their flight so they could attend the band event. Later that evening, Ashley dropped by Mark's hotel room to let him know that she had aced her first interview. She was so grateful for Mark's help that she gave him a warm hug as a token of appreciation. In return, Mark gave her a dress as a gesture of acknowledging Ashley's hard work in the interview. Mark was impressed when Ashley wore the dress he gave her. They then went together to the band event. Meanwhile, Janet and Rachel were engrossed in discussing their profession as courtesans. They earned $750 just for entertaining and listening to their clients' heartfelt confessions. Back to Ashley, she was happily dancing with Mark. Both of them seemed so caught up in the moment. Unable to resist the growing intensity, Mark suggested going back to the hotel. Not wanting to miss out on the opportunity right in front of them, Mark pulled Ashley towards his room. The next day, Ashley felt guilty and uneasy. She was burdened by a deep sense of guilt for betraying Linda. During the previous night, Ashley couldn't resist the intense atmosphere, which led her to a decision that she now regrets. However, Mark calmly explained that Ashley is not actually at fault in this situation. He emphasized that even though Ashley may feel like she betrayed Linda, the reality is that Mark will always love Linda, his wife, wholeheartedly. Mark then assured Ashley that if he chooses to be her affair partner, he will take care of all her tuition fees, room rent, and food expenses during her stay in Pressman. All these expenses will be Mark's responsibility as long as their relationship continues. Rachel and Janet, dressed in flashy, luxurious outfits, became the center of attention at their school. Their classy appearances, adorned with expensive clothing that accentuated beauty and luxury, made them like two elegant cats curiously watching the fish dance on the water's surface. Moreover, the admiring and longing gazes from the men around them further emphasized their striking presence in the school environment. After school ended, Ashley and Zilly, curious about Rachel and Janet's glamorous lifestyle, approached them with determination. They wanted to know the source of the money that allowed Rachel and Janet to buy such expensive clothes. Finally, Rachel and Janet revealed their secret, which is that they offered additional services to the husbands who used the services of family friends, a business they run. Rachel explained that they found a solution that lifted the family friends business to a higher level. According to her, by offering special services, they not only gained financial benefits but also developed their business in a mutually beneficial way. Next, Rachel and Janet suggested that Ashley and Zilly join them in playing the role of courtesans. They explained that being part of this service would provide them with additional income to help cover their tuition fees. According to Rachel and Janet, this concept was an opportunity to earn money by simply interacting with men in need of such services. However, Ashley and Zilly firmly rejected the offer. They were not interested in getting involved in such activities. Despite assumptions that Ashley might have an interest in it, due to speculations about her character, Zilly remained a mystery. As one of my favorite characters in the movie, Zilly had little opportunity to develop further, which added to my curiosity about her background. The next day, Ashley decided to drop by Mark's office. Upon arrival, Ashley looked at a photo displayed on Mark's desk, showing Linda and their children. Ashley's gaze was drawn to the photo, and she couldn't help but feel a deep sense of guilt for her affair with Mark. Mark, sensing Ashley's mood, reminded her of the agreement they made regarding the payment of Ashley's tuition fees. Although Ashley had some doubts, the urgency to pay the exorbitant tuition fees eventually led her to surrender herself to Mark and let him enjoy their time together. In the evening, Ashley visited Daniel's house for a study session. When Daniel saw Ashley entering the room, he sensed a change in Ashley's aura. Daniel, who had long harbored feelings for Ashley, saw an opportunity to ask her to go out with him at the upcoming weekend party. At the party, they looked so harmonious, dancing together to the soft music. The night ended with Daniel driving Ashley home. Before Ashley entered the house, they exchanged glances, and those glances reflected the happiness on Daniel's face, as if Ashley also felt the same way towards him. A few days later, Mark asked why Ashley had been difficult to reach lately. Ashley explained that she was attending a school party at that time, perhaps a graduation or a similar event. Mark then asked if Ashley had met a guy during the party. This question felt highly inappropriate, considering they didn't have a romantic relationship. Despite feeling annoyed, Ashley answered that she didn't sleep with that guy and asked Mark not to interfere too much in the personal matters of a 17-year-old girl. However, Mark insisted on knowing every detail of Ashley's activities, claiming that he would be the one paying for all her tuition fees. Mark's stubbornness angered Ashley, and she asked him to drop her off on the street. The next day, the teenagers spent their weekend joyfully. In a relaxed atmosphere, Zilly noticed that Rachel and Janet seemed to have a lot of money and luxurious goods. Feeling the urgent need to continue her education at Art University, Zilly finally decided to share her burden with Rachel and Janet. Zilly expressed her desire to earn a significant amount of money for tuition fees and stated her willingness to become a courtesan, with the condition that her clients must be attractive. Rachel and Janet, intrigued by Zilly's decision, then invited Ashley and Zilly to celebrate this opportunity at a bar. There, they enjoyed drinks together and celebrated Zilly's choice to enter this profession. The next day, Ashley faced a nerve-wracking moment when she met with a professor at Pressman University. In the meeting, they discussed education costs. Unfortunately, Ashley didn't qualify for a scholarship at that university and, therefore, was required to pay a $50,000 tuition fee. In the evening, Ashley received a message from Mark inviting her to meet at a bar. There, Mark promised to take care of her and not harm her. However, Ashley declined the offer, considering Mark's possessive nature, which had made her uncomfortable. For the sake of their relationship, Ashley chose to distance herself. Ironically, Rachel was present at the bar and witnessed the encounter between Ashley and Mark. When Ashley returned home, she shared the incident with Rachel. Initially, Mark had committed to funding Ashley's education, but with Ashley's decision to end their relationship, there was no longer a viable solution to cover the tuition fees at that university. Hearing Ashley's story, Rachel asked her to reconsider their friend's new vision, which involved serving men willing to pay handsomely for their services. The next day, at school, Rachel informed their friends that there was a client willing to give each of them $1,000. They all agreed to meet the client. At a private swimming pool area, 3 clients and 4 special tutors were enjoying their time. One of the clients was Walter, a man whom Rachel usually served. However, this time, Walter wanted to experience Ashley's service, finding her to be new and intriguing. Meanwhile, Zilly chose to stay away from the situation, feeling unprepared to engage with the older men. Walter and Ashley then went to a place to fulfill their special duties, playing according to Walter's desires. A few days later, Ashley received an acceptance letter as a new student at the university, and her friends congratulated her. Rachel reminded Ashley to always be by her side so that Ashley could quickly complete the tuition fee payment, which meant engaging with wealthy men. However, in the evening, Ashley received bad news that Janet's stomach was swollen, suspected to be the result of her affair with Jack, a client she often played with. Janet felt shocked and saddened by her pregnancy, especially because the child was the product of an affair with a married man. Ultimately, they decided to take negative actions as a solution to deal with the situation. The next day, in the obstetrician's practice room, Janet felt deep disappointment because her good friend, Rachel, wasn't by her side to provide moral support during the visit. In this tense and anxious atmosphere, Janet felt as if Rachel had abandoned her when she needed her the most. Janet may have reflected that her pregnancy was the result of decisions influenced by her friend's advice, but in the end, she realized the truth of the saying, "You reap what you sow." The next day, Ashley and Zilly met Rachel and asked why Rachel didn't accompany Janet to the obstetrician. Rachel explained that she was afraid to go to the doctor, but what was more disappointing was that instead of showing empathy towards Janet, Rachel invited Ashley and Zilly to go back to playing with the older men, who were their previous clients. Hearing this insensitive invitation from Rachel, Zilly felt deep anger and immediately left them. In the evening, Ashley was calculating the amount of money needed to make her dream of entering Pressman University come true. Ashley realized that she faced a significant funding gap. With reluctance, Ashley acknowledged that the only way to overcome this financial crisis was to follow Rachel's suggestion to become a courtesan. With a resolute decision, Ashley went to meet Walter once again. This time, the task was to model for a photo shoot at a place owned by Walter. Feeling unsatisfied with just Ashley's presence, Walter then asked Cindy, another courtesan, to join the photo shoot. Realizing the discomfort caused by Walter's request, Ashley felt compelled to leave the place and departed from Walter's house. A few days later, the school held a special event to honor their top 2 students, Ashley and Harper. The event aimed to recognize their academic achievements and the exemplary behavior displayed by both students. Ashley was surprised to see her client, Walter, in the school area. Ashley felt anxious and worried that Walter would approach her, especially because she was with her parents at that moment. Feeling uncomfortable, Ashley decided to leave the place, followed by Walter, who seemed to be trying to approach her. However, Harper also followed them attentively. After Walter's departure, Harper, known for having a vengeful nature, revealed to Ashley that Harper knew about the relationship between Ashley and Walter. Harper stated that Ashley had engaged in inappropriate interactions with her uncle, Walter. Harper sternly threatened Ashley, stating that if Ashley didn't withdraw from her pursuit of becoming the young president, Pressman, Harper would spread damaging rumors about the Family Friend Project. According to Harper, the project was merely a cover-up to hide the fact that they were involved in serving as courtesans. True enough, a few days after the threat, news about the Family Friend Project started spreading uncontrollably. Articles discussing the issue appeared in various media, from local newspapers to online websites, with provocative titles like "High School Hookers." The 4 individuals involved in the Family Friends project communicated to understand and face the increasingly worsening situation. They realized that the impact of the rumor spreading would drastically change their lives. At school, Ashley, as the head of the Family Friend Project, experienced humiliating treatment from her peers. Even Daniel, who had admired Ashley all along, felt the need to confirm the truth of the rumors. With a heavy heart, Ashley admitted that she was forced to become a courtesan to finance her education, which her family couldn't afford. Despite this, Daniel chose to distance himself, unable to face the reality and shame that arose from Ashley's confession. A few days later, in front of the school, many journalists from various media gathered in large numbers, trying to get information about the teenage mischief involving the 4 students. Ashley tried to contact Rachel through the phone to inform her that the scandal had become widely known and was in the public eye. However, Rachel instead blamed Ashley, claiming that Ashley's ambition to enter the pressman competition had triggered Harper to spread the scandal. Finally, the school called the 3 students to provide clarification. When Ashley was about to express her opinion about the current situation, Rachel suddenly interrupted and revealed that Rachel was the one who turned the Family Friend project into a courtesan business and trapped her friends into participating in that activity. Shortly after, they were taken to the police station to give statements one by one. Ashley provided information to the detective handling the case, explaining that although Rachel was the one who initiated and involved them in the courtesan business, Ashley had engaged with Mark after Mark promised to pay for her college tuition. This confession led to the arrest of Mark for his involvement in the teenage mischief. Meanwhile, Rachel, as the instigator and the one who involved her friends, was designated as a suspect and would receive a plea deal in the upcoming trial. After finishing giving her statement, Ashley saw Linda and apologized for all her actions. However, Linda showed sympathy towards Ashley and blamed her husband for destroying Ashley's life and her family's. Graduation day arrived. Since Ashley and Janet were prohibited from attending the graduation ceremony, they decided to visit Rachel. During the meeting, Rachel conveyed a deep apology to Ashley and Janet, admitting her fault in leading them astray and destroying the lives of their friends. Although Rachel expressed regret, Ashley and Janet realized that their problems were not solely caused by Rachel's influence. The scene then shifted to 8 months later. Ashley, who now worked in a coffee shop, was approached by her friend, Zilly. In their conversation, Zilly praised Ashley, calling her a strong and resilient friend. At the end of the film, Daniel stood in front of the coffee shop door. They exchanged a meaningful yet awkward smile, symbolizing a moment of reflection on their past and hope for the future.